So we're
That's
talking
okay.
to Yassir from India. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hello, hello. How you do? What is it? What is your question?
Okay, so I'm not a full theist. I'm kind of like an agnostic person.
Okay.
Because whenever I think about disproving God or something like that, I get a few ideas thrown in from other people.
Okay.
So one of that, the thing I wanted to discuss today is about the decomposition of human body. So one of the ideas that I got put in is that. So
Yassir,
I know Muslim,
could you back off the
basically, I
mic?
was vulnerable. So
Yassir, could you please back off the mic just a little bit?
Is
I'm
it
getting just
better now?
That's a little better. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
You were talking about decomposition.
I'm seeing how you worded your question when you wrote it out. It said there are some human bodies that have not decomposed, and you feel that this is proof of a God. Can you give me an example of a human body that is not decomposed?
Yes, so that's what I was coming to. So I am a Muslim basically. So a few months ago or something, I got a news about one of the people who followed Prophet Muhammad, and they dug up his body a few months ago, and it was fully like not decomposed at all. It was like he was buried just a day or two ago.
All right, who is this? I want to Google it real quick.
It's like a possibility.
Who is this?
Okay, I don't have that person's name right now.
Is there anything that I could use to Google this to find out what the story is you're talking about?
Yes, and so just Google followers of Prophet, and you can see at least one or two pictures here and there in Google.
Okay, I must apologize. I wasn't able to understand all of that. Google something about the Prophet. You told me to Google something about
like dead bodies of followers of Prophet Muhammad.
Dead bodies of Prophet Muhammad.
So one thing that I would say, rather than Aron, please do, please do Google it. But like I don't want to because I don't think it's necessary. The reason why is because you're talking about here's this person that died and hasn't decomposed seemingly at all, and it's amazing. We have plenty of examples of that from people that I guarantee you wouldn't consider your religious brethren in this way. Peat bog mummies are preserved so well that they still have hair that still has their original hair color. We have people who died and fell in a peat bog and they still have bright red hair because they just never decompose properly because it's a completely anoxic environment. We have politicians and religious figures that have been beautifully, perfectly preserved for years and years and years, and they look like they just died yesterday. I'm pretty sure wasn't there a mummy I think it was in China that they were buried with a bunch of mercury or something, and that just no life can get in there to decompose them, and they look super fresh. That could be apocryphal, but like I know for sure that there's a lot of examples of people that died a long time ago and have very little decomposition. And it's just because of some weird conditions, either anthropogenic, either weird human-made conditions, or weird natural conditions like the peat bog people, where these weird conditions caused weird rates of decomposition. And so you're talking about this as if it's proof of some miraculous thing. It sounds like a weird circumstance to me. And it sounds like somebody that you agreed with had this weird thing happen. And so you're applying more meaning to it than that's weird, which is all the meaning that it deserves.
Well, here's my problem with it. Is a lot of these claims that I get from believers about whatever they use as evidence for to justify their position. Most of the time, the specific thing they're talking about isn't even true. So in trying to find this, if somebody says that the bodies of prophets have been predicted that they will not decompose, and so somebody's claiming to have found the body of Muhammad, which I doubt very much. And then there's another site that says that that Solomon's body did not decompose. Excuse me, who the fuck found Solomon's body? we're not going to be able to get any verification that Solomon's body was ever found. That would be
also, while I was looking up, there's also Catholic saints that are called incorruptible that supposedly have been so preserved that they're calling it divine intervention, that these bodies aren't decomposing properly, and so or at all. So like it's happening in other religions.
One example for it, and can't it be like something?
Yeah, and then at
it can't be like coincidental for a lot of things, right?
And then there's another website called alquran.com, refuting the falsehood of prophets' dead bodies never decomposing.
So like, and you hear I've got Lenin, Vladimir Lenin's mausoleum. Apparently his body is still looking pretty good.
Well, his was prepared, though. He was deliberately mummified.
Right. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, this is a thing that can happen, either anthropogenically or not. It is a thing that can happen. And so what you're doing, Yassir, here is you're finding an example of this happening, and it happens to be somebody that you agree with, and you're ignoring all the times that it happens to people you don't agree with. You're ignoring all the times it happens to people that you've never even heard of by random chance, and you're saying this one is proof of God, and I don't understand why. It sounds like if what you're saying is true, it's an interesting event, and it could be studied, but you're jumping to a conclusion of saying, well, therefore it must be divine. And I don't understand why you're giving it that much.
Yeah. I don't think there's an article here talking about how Muhammad's body was exhumed and not decomposed, but I don't think anybody's ever found Muhammad's body.
Yeah, the actual Muhammad.
Verification. Yeah, the actual Muhammad. No. And I would say even stronger that they never found Solomon's body. Somebody may have found a body that they called Solomon, that it was not an archaeologist or anybody with similar credibility to make such a claim or evidence to support that. So that's the problem. A lot of the claims for evidence just never happened. Like when the common claim that there were 500 witnesses, but we don't have a single testimony from any of those witnesses. All we have is the claim that 500 unnamed random people allegedly saw something, and nobody reported it. We don't have a list of names. We don't have their testimonies. Nothing.
Yeah. Does that do anything for you, Yassir? Are we making any sense?
Kind of, but I'm still like you said, it's a bit more like it's not uncommon, but it happens, right?
Right. But other cool shit happens too. There have been examples of people who've been shot in the head and survived with, and they seem to be doing just fine. Does that mean that it's divine intervention, or does it mean that cool shit happens sometimes?
I would think if they had found Muhammad's body, that would be a big enough deal that we'd be able to verify that, that there were secular scholars who would admit that, yeah, this is Muhammad's body, you found him. Because that's the way reality is. If you find somebody, you can identify that this is Muhammad, then there are people who are not Muslim who would also admit that this is Muhammad. But it seems that all we can find that would agree with this is people who already want to believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I
think I'll do a bit more research on that.
Definitely. I think so.
Maybe if I get a name, I'll do a call back.
Sure. Okay. And like I said, man, I would really encourage you just to, kind of just question whether or not it's an interesting novel, maybe even a unique thing, maybe a once in a lifetime thing. Maybe it's something that's only ever happened one time. Is that good enough to then chalk it up to the supernatural? Like if you saw lightning, strike in the same place 50 times in a row, do you now believe in Thor? Or are you just going to say, wow, there must have been some shit going on there that I don't understand? And that was really new. It was really neat. That was really cool. That was a cool thing that happened. It sounds to me like you're giving an undue amount of value to this just because it's something that already seems to align with something that you want to believe in. Anyway, Yassir, we're going to move on. We've got a bunch of other callers on the line. Okay. But I really do. I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you presenting this to us, and I hope you call back whenever you do a little bit more research on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, it's Jimmy Snow here. I'm the executive producer on the line with a fun fact. Did you know 100% of the hosts of this channel enjoy eating? It's true. And if you would like to help contribute to their ongoing addiction, you can do so by going over to Patreon or becoming a channel member. There are show-specific, host-specific tiers. Those are awesome. But also, you can leave a super thanks with a special little highlighted comment. You can like, comment, and subscribe. All of those will help fill our whittle bellies. By the way, check out some of this content over here. Algorithm, what next?